Welcome to the V2S Podcast. We are three guys who like music. We've been in bands. We've watched countless bands live. We're going to talk about all things music related. At least we're going to start there. We're going to share some stories, opinions, lots of opinions, insights, and whatever else we feel like. So sit back and share a few laughs with us. Welcome to the V2S Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the V2S Podcast. I am Bill Vinson, your host, and gosh, I love doing this. Thanks for listening. As long as we have at least one listener, thank you, Mom, we will keep doing this. So
I don't think Mom listens.
She does.
No, I think she hits play. And then
I am
walks
going
away.
to say, before I even introduce everybody, my mom does listen because she emailed me specifics the other night from our last podcast. I was actually really impressed.
I think that just hurt our street cred. We take notes from our 70-year-old, almost 70-year-old mom. That's where we get our info.
Well, I didn't say we take notes. I just said she listened. So
Yeah.
She's kind of like, Lars Ulrich's dad is always part of everything. Maybe our mom's just like the cool mom that's always there.
It's Mother's Day. We'll go with that.
I listen to your mom.
All right. So,
That
yes,
almost
happy
sounded
Mother's
dirty,
Day.
but you kept it clean.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. The voices you hear are not the voices in your head. One is of my brother Dan. Welcome, Dan.
Hi.
You sounded very unenthusiastic there.
That's all I got right now.
You
Sorry.
got a good
Okay,
I'll
greeting.
pick it up.
For those watching on YouTube, Dan's got like a dark light club thing kind of going. It's like a purplish light going on.
We are growing orange and lemon trees, and my wife bought this weird light that's like purple to... I don't know, it's like ultraviolet or something, so they actually grow.
Now, when you say
Put on
orange and lemon trees, do you mean weed?
No. I mean, trees that will grow an orange or a lemon in like 6 years. I don't know what the hell we're doing. It's
Going for a very sustainable...
It was a mother-daughter project that just keeps going, so I just say, okay.
Attaboy.
That's great.
Attaboy.
I love it.
Right?
I love it. Well, you put on some Barry White music and you could have a thing there, right?
I don't.
Same.
That's sounds really weird since I said it was a mother-daughter thing. And you,
Well, I meant for you too.
okay. Oh, with the lighting. I got you.
There.
Oh, you are
Now it all came together.
Sharp as
This
a
is
spoon.
probably horrible podcasting because not everybody can see the light, but they at least could picture it. So we'll jump off this and welcome in Scott Gale, the also bass playing Scott Gale.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
Can you play a banjo?
No. I can play bass and a guitar. A bass is like a guitar except with less strings and fatter strings.
Okay. A banjo's like a guitar, but with a circle.
I think it's and one of the strings is shorter than the rest, and it's way more complicated, and you gotta be really coordinated to play a banjo, I think.
I know. I think it'd be awesome.
It probably would be.
Again.
But
I can only think of that, Losing Your Mind, Pride and Glory, as the only, like, awesome rock song with a banjo.
that is an awesome rock song with a banjo.
Tweet us your awesome banjo songs at V2S Podcast because that would actually be entertaining to hear.
I
Great
love it when rock songs
with
incorporate
banjos.
non-rock instruments.
Like
Typo Negative was
chainsaws
good at that. Like chainsaws. Or drills.
Kazoos.
or drills,
Kazoos.
kazoos.
Tenacious
Scott,
D
for
throws
those-
in the little kitty saxophone thing. Have you seen that? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing that.
Typo Negative does a lot of sitars and stuff.
sure.
Aerosmith's done the sitar. Metallica's done the sitar.
Yes, they have.
Typo. Scott, of course, brought the kazoo in. For those who didn't know, that's a Saigon Kick reference.
Is it?
They do.
Oh, did I do that again? That's weird. What are the odds?
All right. So for those playing bingo at home, you've
Spoons.
got Scott did actually check off the Saigon Kick. So we're still waiting on the Susanna Hoffs reference, which will come, and the Phil Collins reference, I'm sure, will come at some point.
That's all going to come naturally. We're not going to
Okay.
force those things anymore because it's just going to be a natural flow that they'll just show up in every single conversation.
There you go.
I love
'Cause
it.
it's
And
possible.
Dan did just point out spoons, which got R.I.P. Chris Cornell.
Now, did he play the
So, yeah.
spoons in that song, or were
Yeah,
that,
I don't think he played them.
or was okay? They
I'm
brought
not
in-
saying he did.
It was like some homeless guy from Seattle, right? That they wrote it
I
about.
actually think you're right.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was like
That's
the
cool.
guy in the video. I think was the Spoon Man guy from their hometown. I think he was homeless or something. He just played the spoons on the street.
That's pretty awesome.
That is. total, like, I didn't mean to go Chris Cornell, but I listened to Down on the Upside like 2 or 3 days ago while I was working out. That album is so good.
That is an awesome album. Yeah. I really like that one, too.
I honestly, other than like singles the radio station would play after Super Unknown, I stopped listening.
You want to hear something funny?
No.
I actually took that CD from you. So you did have it. I have it now, but it was yours.
Down on the Upside?
Yeah.
I probably stole it from Laser, so it's all good.
Okay. I think the statute of limitations is off on that too. So, and Laser doesn't exist anymore. So,
and we were given
considering
things.
I stole, I think like 15 of your CDs, if not more. You taking one back is.
Right. We'll call it good now. Yeah, we're good.
I remember you stole the Kiss Revenge CD back. You're like, "That's mine." I'm like, "I've had it longer than you have, so I think it's mine."
It's mine
That's
now.
true.
Yeah.
And for those Kiss
Squatters'
fans,
rights.
Revenge is their best album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll take us perfectly into. Tell them what we're doing, Bill.
All right, I'm excited for this because I love brackets. I love March Madness. I love tournaments. And Dan had this idea of doing a 70s and 80s bracket. And before Scott and I could even say yes, Dan was on it and said, "Do you want me to put it together and not tell you guys?" And Scott and I said, "Sure." So
Do you want me to do all the work and you don't have to do anything?
We're in.
That's called good leadership by Scott and I. And so, yeah, we were like, yeah, this is totally cool. Let's do this. For those who watched or listened to the last episode, you know we did rapid fire questions that we didn't know the answers beforehand or the questions. And kind of same thing tonight. What we'll be doing, Scott and I have not seen. So Dan's going to take the lead on this through the brackets.
I feel I was supposed to be in charge of social media, and I've completely stopped doing anything on social media, and Bill has started doing that, so I got to bring something other than my charm. So
Yeah, you got to make up.
I'm trying to bring the, the topics and the ideas. I'm the idea man.
And also, to be fair, for those who are not watching, which is everybody, so everybody listening, Dan has made one of his PowerPoints again as well, because as we all know, he loves him some PowerPoints.
Those who don't know, I am a high school teacher teaching online, so I live with PowerPoints right now.
But to be fair, even if you weren't teaching online,
I'd
you
still
would
be doing it.
Yeah, you'd be like, "I've made a PowerPoint for our grocery list, honey." As you can see here in slide number 1, we've got dairy.
Did she share that with you? How do you know?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, she did. She called and she said, "He's getting carried away with the PowerPoints. We need to do an intervention."
Yeah. Fair enough.
My gosh.
Call Bill Gates.
So
today we're just going to do this episode will just be the 70s. And I realized when I was picking bands, it's actually the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
So
Let's go through the rules slide.
I have a rules slide, yes. So you guys,
And
some learners are visual learners, Scott Gale.
Okay. I don't
If you're a visual
debate
leader.
that.
we are throwing this up on YouTube, so if you would like to see Dan's slides, you will be able to see the slides.
So I asked you guys, like, bands that, obviously spawned more than one decade and could be associated with more than one. I think Bill said, well, put them in each decade. I didn't like that idea because that would put actually more work on me, because I would have to sit there and be like, well, they had this song in the 70s and this song in the 80s, so blah, blah. No. So each band gets one decade. The decade I think they made the biggest impact, or maybe their initial impact.
Okay.
I decide. If you don't like it, too bad.
So this is not scientific. This is just your thoughts of
It's
when they
scientific.
made their
It's
impact.
just,
This is
you know,
just
my science.
Fair enough. Okay.
And then the seeding, I could have helped some of the bands I love, so I didn't want to do that. So I've got 16 bands, and I put them in a random generator. Mm-hmm. So that's how seedings were determined. So when you see the number one seed, don't be like, how did they, like, it's not that I thought they were the best. It's just randomness. And like I said, 60s, 70s are all together. Because I wanted, spoiler, Jimi Hendrix in here, and he died in 70s, so. But he made a pretty big impact in the 70s still.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, we'll start. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think I'm ready.
in the 60s, 70s, the number one seed is Aerosmith. Again, they could have been 80s, they could have been 90s, really. But so it's Aerosmith, and then the 16th seed became Alice Cooper.
Okay, for a random generator, I have no problem believing either of those numbers. Aerosmith could easily be a number one seed in a 70s bracket.
I don't think they could easily be a number one. No.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they could be top five maybe, but no.
Yeah, no.
Just saying. I love me some Joe Perry.
If it's American bands of the 60s, 70s, Aerosmith maybe have an argument at a one seed.
True. So what are we supposed to do at this point?
So what do you think? Give me some qualifications. I don't care if you're basing it on who you like better, the impact they had, or like, the best song, or just critical acclaim, whatever. You base it on your own judgment. Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, who's better?
Well, I'd say Aerosmith. I mean, I think that's kind of an easy one. I mean, the one thing that Alice Cooper has going for him is that he's brought in or had roll through his band a lot of cool musicians that have gone on to do other things. Like, he's kind of been like the starting point for a lot of really good guitar players and things like that. But I think as far as cultural impact, I would go with Aerosmith for sure.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Was Aerosmith, for some reason I'm thinking, was Aerosmith in Wayne's World 2?
Yes, they were. They were the band playing at the end.
That's a fun little Wayne's World. Alice Cooper and Aerosmith. Alice Cooper was in the better Wayne's World movie.
Good
point.
That?
That's true.
I did not put that together.
There you go.
So, yeah. No, I agree. Aerosmith. I really do like Alice Cooper. Remember, I mean, it's almost 20 years ago now. I saw him live, and I know a handful of Alice Cooper songs, but even then, 20 years ago, he was probably, 60 still.
Yeah.
He put on a great show.
He still does.
He does the whole stage thing still, and it's great.
He knows what he is. He knows it's entertainment, and he does a great job with it. I agree. Yeah. I've seen him a few times.
But Aerosmith still puts on a great show, too, for as old as they are.
Very true. I mean, I totally agree. Aerosmith would win. I got to give a shout-out, though, to Be My Lover by Alice Cooper. If you haven't heard it, go play it on Apple Music or Spotify. It is the goofiest, stupidest rock song, and it's 3 minutes of fantastic awesomeness. So check out Be My Lover, but Aerosmith definitely would win.
Okay. I always loved the Alice Cooper song when it was after Hey Stupid.
Feed My
I don't know if it was the album after that or a few after that, but it was like Lost in America, I think. And it was just, he's 50 at that point, millionaire, and he's singing this song about being like poor. He's like, can't go to school because I don't have a gun. Don't got a gun because I don't have a job. Don't have a job because I can't go to school. And I'm like, you're a 50-year-old dude. Like, you have tons of money. Don't.
He's trying to relate to his audience.
It's kind of like when Def Leppard was like, mow the lawn. Not my style.
Take out the trash.
Take out the trash. Right. Joe Elliott was like, here's what I yelled at my kid today. Let's put that.
Yeah. Joe Elliott hasn't taken trash out since he was 17.
Right.
All right.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Number
Aerosmith.
one seed.
There you
advancing.
All right. Are you keeping track of this somewhere that
I have.
can go
Don't
on
worry.
and see?
Don't worry.
Okay.
See,
right.
now this is the random seeding. CCR as the 2 seed against the Who. Now, I think big picture in the world, the Who are way bigger than CCR, but I love CCR way more.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I would say, I'm going on these two bands. Who am I listening to in the car? And I'm putting CCR on before the Who. So that'd be my choice.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that either. I would definitely choose CCR over the Who.
Wow. Sorry, Pete Townsend.
Yeah, the Who's fun and has some good songs, and if it's on, I'll listen to it. But I do agree with you. There's been times I'll just put on CCR and let Greatest Hits play and just smile for a half hour.
Right.
They do play a mean pinball, but...
They do.
They wrote the best song about pinball ever.
You would even call them the Wizard.
Yeah. I love saying that Over the Top was on, and I said, we have to watch this, Chris. And she's like, no. I said, it's the best arm wrestling movie ever. And she's like, how many are there? I'm like, it doesn't matter.
One.
Because
Yes,
once
one.
you made Over the Top, why? Like everyone was like, oh, let's shelve our arm wrestling ideas.
we can't get
Can't
better than
compete.
this.
Can't compete,
We peaked on the first
Damn,
one.
Sly did it again.
right? You know, Disney's like, we had like 4 in the can ready to go, and we couldn't do it.
We had a ride in Disney World all set
Right.
to build, and we can't do it now.
Some people would be in one arm, one would be the other, and you just teeter back and forth.
Some Disney executive came running in at the last minute. Damn it! Stallone beat us to the arm wrestling phenomenon.
He turns his hat backwards. How can we compete with that?
I got bad news, Mickey.
That is such a great movie, though. Anyway, okay. So the number 2 seed, CCR. No upsets. Look at that. Number 3, Deep Purple against 14 seed Pink Floyd. And again, these seeds are random. If someone's just popping in and they're like, I love Pink Floyd. How are they at 14? Simmer.
Can I ask a question about like the evolving cast of characters that was Deep Purple? Like, how many people have been in that band?
I know very little about Deep Purple, but the more I learn, it's like, oh, they were awesome. You know what I mean? It's like, I know Smoke on the Water, and then all of a sudden I hear more songs, and I didn't know they were Deep Purple.
Yeah,
They have a lot of great songs.
They do.
they do.
Yeah. But
David Coverdale was in Deep Purple for a while.
Really?
he was.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of
But I
David
think-
Coverdale, Tawny Katane, dead.
Yes.
Oh, really?
She passed
Yeah.
away this week.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna listen to "Is This Love" just in honor.
Oh, I like how you went for the slow one.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah. I'm gonna bring it down.
In memorandum.
Yes, in memorandum. And then what was the movie she was in? Witchcraft, I think.
she was
Or,
in Bachelor Party.
Yeah, she was in
yeah,
Bachelor Party.
Bachelor Party.
The one with the board, the Ouija board. Ouija. I think Ouija might have been the name of the movie or something.
Ouija, are you with me? Sorry, that's Bone Thugs. Not really fit for this podcast.
No, not really.
I
Scott,
am
do you
a
know anything about
well-versed human being.
that? You are.
I can go from
Do you know
Deep
anything,
Purple
Scott?
to Bone Thugs.
You can.
Scott?
Scott.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pink Floyd on this one for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
See, I've never smoked weed in my life, so Pink Floyd, I've watched the whole Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon, and it's really cool. But you can't beat Smoke on the Water for anything.
yeah, but Pink Floyd is Pink Floyd, so you've got to, you know.
Okay, 1-1, Bill.
I'd go Deep Purple. I've really never enjoyed Pink Floyd. Learning to Fly is probably the only song I like by them.
Wish
That's
you were
Foo
here.
Fighters.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Wish You Were
Another
Here
brick
is
in the
fine.
wall.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Just not a big Pink Floyd fan.
Yeah,
I remember
fair
when I was a kid, when we moved to Kansas City, my dad worked for this, I don't know, some alarm company, and he needed something to do with me all day, so he had me go work in the back with this guy, and all the guy did was smoke weed all day and listen to Pink Floyd. And I was like 12 years old, and the guy couldn't believe I had never heard of Pink Floyd. And I was like, dude, I'm 12.
Right.
What do you expect from me?
Well, you did know
And-
the Grateful Dead by then.
That's true. But yeah, I'll go Deep Purple.
Okay.
Richie Blackmore, I think, right? That's the guitar player?
Yep.
There you
Pulled
go.
that out of nowhere.
Yep.
There you go.
Deep Purple.
That's our first, at least, dissent here.
Yes.
Scott's not happy.
Non-unanimous.
All right. Look at this.
Ooh.
Heavy hitters.
Oh.
Number 4, the Rolling Stones against 13 seed Queen.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Wow.
See, Bill, this is where you said Aerosmith would be number 1.
No. Yeah.
I mean, both these are probably ahead of Aerosmith in the 70s.
Queen? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right. You're probably right.
I like how it's so. What? Okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah,
I
you
guess
got
you're
me.
right.
My daughter loves Queen, so I know what she would say. I'm a Rolling Stones fan to this day. I'd go Stones.
All right. Gail.
Yeah, Queen is awesome, but I'm going with the Stones. just
Why?
because, well, a couple reasons. I mean, the Stones are awesome. You've got Paint It Black. That's my favorite tune by the Stones.
That's my favorite Stone song too. I love that.
I also saw this, and just kind of a side story. I don't know if you saw that documentary. I think it was called 10 Feet from Stardom.
No.
But it's about the backup singers. So the woman who did the backup vocals on Gimme Shelter, who sang rape, murder, that.
Yeah.
They talked to her about like her going in and singing those vocals and what a cool experience it was. And then they played the isolated vocals of her backup vocals. And holy shit, was that awesome. I mean, it's just
Really?
absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and you can probably YouTube this as well, like isolated backup vocals for Gimme Shelter by the Stones, and you'll find that on YouTube. But those backing vocals are just absolutely amazing. But so that's kind of a little side story that's cool about the Stones. But yeah, I prefer the Stones over Queen. So that's why I'm going Stones.
Okay. It doesn't matter because it's 2 votes, but I would pick Queen.
Would you? Okay. Why?
Yeah. I think they're so different. You know what I mean? Like, you have Bohemian Rhapsody. You have, which is just like epic, so many different genres in one song. Yeah. You have, like, We Are the Champions, which is just a beautiful ballad. You have Crazy Little Thing Called Love, which is like a dance kind of number. You have Another One Bites the Dust, which is super rockin', I think. Like, Stone Cold Crazy, especially when they redid Stone Cold Crazy so they can match Metallica's version of Stone Cold Crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you did that better than us. We'll do that too.
Yeah,
but I think they just have a wide variety of music.
Tie Your Mother Down, Fat Bottom Girls.
Yeah.
Fat Bottom.
Tie Your Mother Down.
I'll never forget at State Fair when I was working with Brian Cramp. And we had to do a laser lunch. So we had to 3 songs and they had to guess the theme. So we did Rooster and Ice Cream Man, and he's like, I want it to be Things You See at State Fair. And I was like, how about Fat Bottom Girls as your 3rd song? So
did that one go?
Yeah, Cramp loved it.
That's funny. I would say,
I would vote for Queen.
I do agree with you on the just diverse sound of Queen, and they really could do anything and pull it off. But at the time when the Stones were coming up, like, that wasn't a sound. I mean, to us, it's normal now, and that's rock and roll. But it was them and Led Zeppelin, and that was really the only people making music like that. At first, at least.
I agree. I understand.
And plus,
never been the biggest Stones fan.
And plus, the Stones are going to live forever, too. So, I mean, they're never going to die. So you got that going for the Stones.
My wife actually said that because it's like Tawny Katane dead at 59. And it's like, well, she may have been off drugs for a while, but I'm sure all the drugs she did, like, people who do that many drugs don't live that long. And my wife goes, except Keith Richards.
Right?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Totally.
Valid point.
All right. So the Stones win.
Stones.
Number 5, The Doors against 12, Judas Priest. I know exactly where you guys are going because you do not like Judas Priest.
At all.
The Doors.
The Doors. Yes. Easy. Done. Next.
All right. I do like Priest, though. They got some, come on.
That's nice.
You do.
Fine. We'll move on. 6. Now, this is a tough one.
This is interesting.
The Random Generator did a good matchup here. Black Sabbath against Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, I don't like the Random Generator anymore. Oh. Dude, what do you... Because in both cases, you've got... like the godfathers of it all there. I mean, you got Hendrix for guitar, and you got Tony Iommi and Black Sabbath and like metal.
Ozzy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not going to go first. Who's picking first?
How about, can we process this one and come back to it?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's come back. Let's circle back to this one.
You didn't like that.
Alright,
It's
alright.
like
No, I
we're
didn't.
flipping through during the tournament, and we're on TNT, and it's like I can't even watch. Let's go watch a game over on TBS, and we'll come back to this.
And we're screwing up your PowerPoint now. We realize.
I know. Messed everything.
I have to remember what slide
7
is it?
versus 10. Kiss, Led Zeppelin.
Oh gosh,
No contest. Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
I agree.
No.
I agree. But Kiss has to be in here. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
sure they have to be in here, but
Oh,
they just got beaten by Led
For
Zeppelin.
sure.
See,
You know,
another
our-
band that would be ahead of Aerosmith, Bill.
Zeppelin. Yeah.
Well, I
Zeppelin.
agree, but okay.
Sabbath.
When I said Aerosmith could have a number one seed, I was thinking like four sides of a bracket, and my first thought was Stones, Sabbath, Zeppelin, and then Aerosmith could get the fourth number one seed
Yeah.
if you did it that way.
I gotcha.
So
That would mean I'd have to pick 64 bands all from the 70s.
you did.
60s,
You
and
volunteered, man.
You could.
true.
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
70s. Heart.
Hard.
Okay,
ZZ
so
Top started then.
Yeah.
oh, what I would want to know is Scott and I's old bass player and his brother and their mom loved Kiss. I wonder what they would say to this one. Do you know, Scott? How would Doug or Bob?
I don't know. They would probably. Yeah, they'd probably go Kiss. I would imagine.
You think they would
I think so.
over Zeppelin?
I think they would.
I'll say this: musically, there's no contest. Anyone who says musically Kiss can hang with Zeppelin, they're just
Well, they're wrong. Yeah, for sure.
they're just Sometimes when you love something so much, you're just like, no, I'm going to stand by it no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But every band since Kiss owes Kiss a little debt of gratitude. Kiss showed you how to market yourself,
Oh, for
how to
sure.
sell yourself, how to make
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, we're not discounting that part of Kiss.
I'm just giving them some shout out for
I mean,
love.
Kiss has made an undeniable impact on the music industry for sure, and on
They were
rock and
one of
roll.
the-
But
They were one of the first who was like, it's not just the music. Like, it's this whole entertainer, let's be
it's
crazy.
It's a rock show, It's
Yeah.
more than just
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I mean, you got a band like Zeppelin who's written arguably the, biggest
They got a pretty good catalog.
masterpiece in rock and roll history with Stairway to Heaven. I mean, you can't really deny Zeppelin.
I will take When the Levee Breaks over Stairway to Heaven any day.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
great song, but wow.
I love that song.
Okay,
Yeah, all right. Fair enough.
fair enough.
All right, Led Zeppelin
All right.
wins.
Yes.
8, 9. AC/DC. They could have been in a few different decades. I went
Yeah.
with the 70s. AC/DC, so it's... But you can incorporate their whole music.
Okay, I was just going to ask.
You know what I mean?
Are we incorporating
You're not
the
just
whole
limited to,
catalog?
like,
Okay.
Bon Scott, AC/DC. So
Okay.
all Brian Johnson stuff counts. What's their newest song? I heard it the other day. AC/DC has a new album out. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds like AC/DC.
Power- Is it Power Up, or is that the name of the album?
I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, I think between AC/DC and Motorhead, it's AC/DC for sure. Again, not taking anything away from Motorhead, but
you don't like Motorhead.
I'm not a huge Motorhead fan. I will give you that. I mean, Motorhead's no Genesis with Phil Collins.
Yeah,
in it.
so I know she's not going to listen, but I'm going to give her a shout out. This lady I work with, Andy Cavito. I would be at lunch and I'd say something, and Motorhead would always come up because I love Motorhead. Common lunch topic, right? And she swore the Night Ranger song "Sister Christian." She's like, "Isn't that what they say in that song?" Motorhead, watch your...
Yes.
So every time I tell her, I'm like, "Hey, I'm listening to Motorhead right now." So shout out to Andy Cavito and Motorhead.
Nice.
And that's a great song, Sister Christian.
Yeah.
It is.
They don't say Motorhead though.
They don't, but it's enjoyable. I like that song.
All right. AC/DC?
Yeah.
AC/DC.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I know a lot of people look up to Lemmy and say he did a lot for music, and I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd go AC/DC.
His autobiography is hilarious. It's one where you can tell, yeah, he wrote that. there was not
Really?
a ghost. You read Ozzy's, it's like, you did not write this. Lemmy's,
Yeah.
you're like, I think he wrote this.
I think he wrote this all by himself.
Yeah. Maybe he shouldn't have. But go, seriously, listen to their greatest hits. They have a lot of really good songs, though.
They do.
They're
yeah,
no AC/DC. They're no AC/DC.
But yeah, I mean, again, when they're going up against a band like AC/DC,
right.
it's hard to
Another one I would put ahead of Aerosmith, Bill. Just saying.
Fair enough.
All right.
Little
We have
random
to-
known fact about Motorhead before we move back to this controversy. So in the late 80s, there was a band called Britney Fox. Do you guys know Britney Fox? And Girls School was their big song. Loved them. They put out 2 albums with Dizzy Dean Davidson as the singer, and then he left. Different singer, and they faded out. But
I bet we could get him on this podcast.
Maybe we could. I'll drop my Dizzy Dean Davidson knowledge. He then started a band called Gene Loves Jezebel that had a single about a year after he left Britney Fox. Bet nobody else could pull that out, but that's not why I brought this up.
He's all about girl names for bands, isn't he?
Yeah, totally.
Fair enough.
The drummer of Britney Fox's name was Mickey D. Britney Fox phased out, and he ends up joining Motorhead and has a nice 20-year career just playing drums for Motorhead. Like, that's a nice find for an 80s band to catch on with someone like that.
Yeah,
So
that
There
is.
you go.
Just that'd be a pretty cool way. Like, make it big, have your one-hit wonder, and then just have a nice gig being the drummer for a band that used to be big. So that story really had no point.
Yeah, I'm like, how is this connecting to Motorhead?
I
We
think
got there.
I think the point is that Bill's a Britney Fox fan.
I think that is
True.
That's
That
his
is-
Saigon kick.
That's his Saigon kick, right?
It took him 8 episodes to get him in, and finally he's like, "Here's my opening."
Right.
I'm sneaking him in there.
Next
my
time
gosh,
Dan
that's
talks
great.
about Motorhead, I'm getting this in.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's going in the
Because it
liner
actually
notes.
had nothing
Something
to do
about
with
Britney Fox.
It had to do with the band after Britney Fox.
But the guy got his start with Britney Fox.
Well,
All right.
undoubtedly,
Anyway,
we'll see.
back to Black Sabbath versus Jimi Hendrix.
We'll see Britney Fox come up again in bands of the '80s, won't we?
oh,
Dan?
you know it, of course.
Oh, I mean, how could you not?
I mean,
All right.
you won't see them, by the way. Like, I don't want it, someone may turn off. Like, no.
Firehouse?
Well, yeah, I did put them as the 1 seed.
Did you? Nice.
He rigged it.
Steelheart.
I put them in the 90s because I think their impact just lasted so long that they
Yeah,
belong.
there you
We're still feeling their impact today.
Without Firehouse, you have no Nirvana, really. I mean, so.
Hey.
All right,
All right, we got to land this plane
Sabbath
here.
versus Hendrix.
Sabbath versus Hendrix.
I'm going Sabbath. If you
Ooh.
give me like 4 songs, Hendrix may compete with them. But Sabbath can go so much deeper, I think.
If I give you 4 songs by Hendrix?
Like if you said you can take only 4 songs from each band and who's the best, then I think Jimmy can hold with them. But if I can keep going, I'm going to keep listing Sabbath songs that I think are awesome and I'll stop at Hendrix songs way earlier.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
I'm going Sabbath. Now, the fact that they have a much larger catalog helps. Mm-hmm. They lived past 27 somehow.
I don't know if that helps or hurts them because
I don't know.
Hendrix had this special moment in time and Sabbath had this great high and then like just went off the rails for about 20 years
Mm-hmm.
and then got Ozzy back and had a nice little finish.
Yeah.
Even in the 2000s got Ozzy back and did touring and things. So
Yeah.
it may help Hendrix that he had a shorter career.
Well, maybe in your mind.
Yeah, I'm going and I'm going with Hendrix for sure on this one. For a couple reasons. His impact on rock and roll guitar is just I don't know if there's been anyone since who has changed. Well, that's not true. Eddie Van Halen. So, okay. But aside from Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen, those two are like the pinnacle of guitar playing. Those are like where you start from. You're like, oh, my influences are Hendrix, Van Halen, then you go Zakk Wylde, and then you go down the list of. But everybody's going to say Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, and Jimmy Page too. Actually, come to think of it, but Hendrix is always going to be number 1 or number 2 for people who are like, yeah, I started playing guitar because Hendrix, or big part of why what I like about guitar. Or when I started playing guitar, I discovered Jimi Hendrix, and that just blew my mind, or whatever. So I think Hendrix for that reason. I'll go with him. And I had a dog that I named Hendrix, so.
That's
I
the
like
best
that.
reason yet.
There's that.
I think you might have won me over with that argument. I was gonna say Sabbath simply because of Paranoid. Like, that song is good enough to elevate everything. But then all of a sudden, as you were talking, I got All Along the Watchtower in my head, and
Yep.
Paranoid faded away, and that's all I could hear.
Yeah.
So I think you won me over. I'll go Hendrix.
Great song.
Does it matter to you that All Along the Watchtower is a cover?
Bob Dylan? No, doesn't matter.
I did know that, and that does not matter to me.
Wind Cries Mary?
Love that song.
He's got a lot of covers.
Hey, Joe.
That he turned into good songs. All right. Iron Man? War Pigs?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairies Wear Boots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Children of the Grave.
NIB?
Sweetly?
Your 4-song comment is pretty good, Dan. Like, yeah, I could go about 4 deep with Hendrix, maybe 5, and then I'd be done, and Sabbath would keep going.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I did, like, when Hulk Hogan went bad, his new theme song was Voodoo Child by Hendrix. Like, that was his intro.
bad guy
he
song?
switched from that,
That's
like,
funny.
real American song to Voodoo Child by Hendrix. All right.
That's
All
funny.
right. Fine. Hendrix wins.
Hulk Hogan.
Hendrix wins. All right, so so that's all the categories for tonight, then, right?
I don't know. Do you want to finish up the 70s or what? See, here's my.
I think we should
Well,
just finish them out
Look at
now.
that.
all right. Let's bring this home, ladies and gentlemen. Just if it's getting long for you, just play it on 1.5 so you can push through the end. You can hear that we're funny, and then you still get it done in like 40 minutes. So
All right. We have Aerosmith versus AC/DC.
Ooh.
I
Bill,
know
you
which
go
way Dan.
first.
Yeah, I know, Dan, you're a big AC/DC fan, so I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I absolutely love Aerosmith, especially their 80s career, but I love their 70s career too, so
Remember,
I'll go
you can
Aerosmith.
incorporate their whole repertoire.
Yeah, love Aerosmith. Joe Perry's my guy.
So, Dan, then you're going AC/DC?
If I'm going full history, I think Aerosmith can make a better album. AC/DC can write a better song.
I don't want to be
Because
the
AC/DC
tiebreaker.
albums, other than Back in Black, like they put it all together for Back in Black, and that whole album's amazing. But usually an AC/DC album's going to give you 2 or 3 awesome songs, and then some songs. Mm-hmm. I think Godsmack is like the modern day version of that, right? They don't change their thing. They don't change their sound. You're going to have some good songs, and then everything's fine. But the songs with, like, Angus is probably, he may not be the best guitarist, but I think he's one of, if not the best riff writer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's...
I would agree with that. He
I'm
knows
going
how
with
to
AC/DC.
Make a D chord sound good.
Great, so I have to be the tiebreaker.
So
Yeah.
You're deciding.
I don't wanna. All right. Out of the two, between Aerosmith and AC/DC, I think I would lean... AC/DC.
Ooh.
Wow.
I think.
Okay.
Number 1 seed going down.
But that was a tough choice for me, because
I mean, that's like a double overtime.
it kind of is.
Right.
Angus throws up a shot from the half court line, and it goes in, and they win by 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the new AC/DC album dropped, and he's like, yeah, that's the winner.
Yeah.
These two got to be the only ones who've had a, like, there's 60s, 70s bands that are still around today. Not many people else on this list are still
Stones are
rocking.
still around.
That's true.
I mean, Zeppelin,
Okay.
like, those guys are still around, except for Bonham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I meant as a band, still making
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith's the only original 5.
Yeah, Dave.
That's kind of cool.
How long did Joe Perry leave? It was just one album, right?
It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, basically in their whole.
He missed the end of the second quarter. He was in for the second half. I mean,
You know what though? I don't know if it's my favorite, but definitely one of my favorite Aerosmith songs, "Chip Away at the Stone." Not Joe
me
Perry.
too. I know.
There you go.
It's like
I actually
don't know if
feel
that's-
bad about
That's
that.
allowed to be your favorite Aerosmith song.
I totally agree.
There are no rules. Do whatever
right.
you want.
The Doors against Rolling Stones.
Stones.
Stones. It'd be interesting what might have happened if Jim Morrison had stuck around, like if they would have just kind of worked their way into irrelevancy.
Well, for sure. Yeah, you wonder. And same thing with Hendrix, too. What would have happened if, all these artists that passed away young, Stevie Ray Vaughan, too. I mean, what would have happened if? Yeah, I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thought for something.
Yeah,
that's good.
Thanks. Didn't know.
I picked the Doors. I would rather listen to the Doors than the Stones.
Yeah, you already lost though. So
I know, but I want it out there.
All right, that's fair. You put it out there.
That's okay. Yes.
It's like, see, your team lost, but you're walking out of the stadium still wearing your T-shirt. You're like,
right, my face is still painted. I don't care.
My face is,
I didn't wash it off at halftime, even though they were down big.
That's great.
Got the foam finger.
All right.
Right. Like, I still believe. Next year's our year.
That's right.
All right. Jimmy against Deep Purple. I'll start this one. As I said, Smoke on the Water, I think, is just one of the best songs ever. But I also said I don't know a lot of Deep Purple songs. I'm going with Jimmy in that matchup.
Yeah, I would too. Jimi Hendrix for sure.
Jimmy wins going away. Jimmy.
Look at that. And then Zeppelin versus CCR.
Zeppelin.
Yeah, I mean, CCR got a fun love in the first round and like Love Fest, but Zeppelin.
Now it's Zeppelin. Okay, that's great. Now
it's real. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, John Fogerty. That was fun.
Yeah, that was okay. But toodaloo.
See, and I think I would say the same thing. If I'm sitting in my car, I'm going to put the CCR greatest hits in first.
Over Zeppelin?
I think that's one. Yeah.
Really?
But I think what? Yeah, I just think they're just fun, and I can sing along to all of them. But at the same time, I would vote for Zeppelin just because it's one thing to say these bands are kind of even, and I listen to this one more, and then there's another, like, as a music fan, you can't deny what Zeppelin's done and meant.
Oh.
So
No question.
Zeppelin.
Yeah.
All right, we got our final four of AC/DC, the Stones, Hendrix, and Zeppelin. That is not a bad final four.
That is not a bad final four.
Any decade's going to be tough to compete with that final four.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Part of it is just legendary longevity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no band from the 2000s can legendarily stack up to any of them. But
not yet.
Not yet. Ever.
I wonder, is there any band from the 2000s that will be playing gigs in 2040?
Nickelback?
Maybe.
It'll be in Saskatoon, but...
Aren't they a 90s band, though? Because they came out in the 90s? They started?
That's true.
You'll have to wait. Who knows where I put them?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Nirvana technically came out in 90 or in 89 or 87 or something. Bleach came out. Should I put them in the 80s?
They'd get trampled in the 80s, but
probably not.
Okay. Let's stay focused here, boys.
Focus.
Right, stay focused.
AC/DC against the Stones. I am way more of an AC/DC fan. I've never been a huge Stone fan. I have that 40 Licks CD. There's about 10 songs I really like.
I'm going for the Stones.
Okay. So I'll be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Any reason why though, Scott? Like anything you want to pump the Stones up or knock the AC/DC down?
Well, no, I don't want to pump up or knock down, but I think out of the two, I mean, AC/DC has that definitive sound, which can get pretty repetitive after a couple of songs where you're like, okay, I know how an AC/DC song is going to sound. And the Stones, they have a little bit more diversity in like how the music is constructed and how the songs are put together. And so I think there's just more variety with the Stones.
Okay. I can't argue against that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
Isn't it so funny? I said I like Queen more because they're more diverse, and I love AC/DC because it's like I know what I'm going to get.
Well, right. Well, yeah,
like, depending on the band, sometimes I like it when a band just is like, this is what I'm getting, don't mess with it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like Metallica, who will change it up every now and then, and you're like, that's awesome. I like how you do that.
Well, and also it depends on these brackets, too. So, I mean, you know, your choices are going to be swayed, I think, by who they're competing against. So
But right now,
you
have to go on a long car ride. You're putting Stones in over AC/DC?
Yeah, I'm putting the Stones in.
Okay.
Well, when you put it like that, I also would put the Stones in for a long car ride just because I need something different in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You two
that's
hate
not-
the high-pitched singers.
That's not true.
That's not who I'm going to pick to win, though. See, I've been riding the Stones train here up until the Final Four. But if I'm going to say, like, great anthem rock and want to get my heart pumping, even though every stadium in the world has played Start Me Up, I'm going to pick AC/DC for, like, that just hard, punch-in anthem rock, get my heart going. AC/DC would win in my book.
There you go.
I think I sent it to you guys, but the Jackal song with Brian Johnson
Yeah,
is
you
just
did.
phenomenal in the I'm going to sing higher than you. Now I'm going to sing higher than you. You're like, oh my gosh. It's a phenomenal duet on Jackal's third album, which I think me and Jesse James Dupree are the only ones who own.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't actually listen to the song.
I know you didn't. I know you. I don't listen to half the stuff you send me either, so it's fair.
But I sent interesting stuff.
Hendrix against Zeppelin.
Oh,
This tears at your heartstrings, doesn't it?
does. It doesn't make me feel good at all.
Can I make it easier?
Sure.
Yeah.
Who's the opening band if these two are playing a bill together?
Jimmy.
Hendrix. Yeah.
Zeppelin never opened for the Monkees.
That's
What?
Jimmy opened for the Monkees. That's like a famous story that like. He
Oh, I
opened
didn't
for the
know
Monkees
that.
Once. Yeah.
I was like, where is that coming from?
You're like, that's true, but
also noticeably absent. That's a good point that you bring that up. Noticeably absent from
Are the
this list
Monkees?
are the Monkees.
they were the 17. They just couldn't get. They were the last team out.
I guess they did catch that last train to Clarksville.
Oh! Thank you for the little drum riff
they
there.
Are no longer believers, could you say?
Okay, that was a softball. I went a little deeper into their catalog. I'm going. Okay,
Were they daydream believing?
Yeah, there you go. Daydream believer. Yeah,
I just wanted to
Zeppelin.
get in on the fun.
I think Zeppelin is the winner there, which makes the final round easy for me.
Hey, an 8 versus 10 seed. Come on, that's just
They were
Cinderella story. Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, but they were misranked by the random generator.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm going Zeppelin for the winner.
And I think I know where Bill's going, but I'm still like, I love AC/DC. I'm not going against AC/DC.
You're never going against AC/DC.
I would in other bands, but not in these.
Yeah, so you've never been a huge Zepp fan, though, right?
The older
Dan?
I've gotten, I like them more.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Same thing. Like, I never listened to Motorhead, The Doors, you know. But in the last, like, decade or so, I got more into the Priest, Iron Maiden,
Britney
Motorhead,
Spears.
like all that. Britney Spears, yeah. I celebrate her entire catalog.
You know, one of the most fun things I've done musically is it wasn't about 6 years ago. I decided I wanted to like totally know all of Led Zeppelin because I knew all the popular songs and had 2 or 3 albums. So I got myself Led Zeppelin 1 and then wouldn't listen to anything before that, and then got 2 and only would listen to 1 and 2. So every year at Christmas I get the next one and I don't listen to anything after it. So it's like given me a whole year to really enjoy each album rather than buying all 10 albums at once and then you just kind of like never really soak them all in. So that's been pretty fun. And so I'm on Physical Graffiti and it's so cool like knowing all the songs before and remembering, oh, okay, that song was on this album. Anyways, that being said, I love Led Zeppelin and I'd vote for them.
Woohoo!
So the greatest band of the 70s, 60s, 70s is Led Zeppelin.
Finally, they get some recognition.
Right? It's about time.
Those nice boys from London finally get some recognition.
And it's all due to us 3 idiots.
Yeah. So, Robert, I expect a call. I met Robert Plant once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. When he
cool.
came, just him, with his band. And Andy Galata opened for him, Bill.
Andy Galata opened for Robert Plant.
Yeah. He was in the band that opened. Like, in this tour, I remember he would just get local bands to open for him.
Wow. That's cool.
That's very cool.
There you go.
Wasn't he to connect the dots, Scott, wasn't he the guitar player for Vital Signs?
Oh, God, maybe you're right. Really?
I think he was.
Are you kidding?
Yes.
Was that the guy?
For those who don't know, Vital Signs is the band that opened for Mugshot, Scott and I.
For those that don't know, nobody knows.
Lots of people know, okay?
There's plenty of people who know.
Andy Galata knows.
People are sitting here listening going, like, we don't know who Vital Signs is, Bill. Come on.
Wow, he got to open for Robert Plant.
All right?
And here we sit.
That was the most random pull of the night.
That was.
That was pretty impressive.
That was.
I'm impressed I remembered his name.
I am too. I can picture him perfectly now, though. So Andy, you'll get a shout out in the liner notes, and you'll be like, "Who is this guy?"
Right.
But
Wasn't
yeah,
he on-
that's
wasn't he
awesome.
on
Good for
that,
him.
Flyer that we have.
Vital Signs was their picture?
No, they're on the little flyer that we made for our show.
Why do you have a flyer from 30 years ago on hand?
Why?
You literally just like...
I think the better question is, why don't you have one of our flyers from 30 years ago?
Because I keep it in the like fireproof safe.
Well, yeah.
So if the house burns down, I have it.
No, I get that. I mean, that's good. I mean, mine is only framed over there. So what? I've got the framed little cartoon guy that we had drawn for us. He's back there too.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
trip down memory lane here at my house.
Pretty fun. So Led Zeppelin's the winner. That's awesome. Very fun. So we've got a 80s bracket coming up on the next episode, and then 90s, and then would it be like the aughts? Would be
I
the
did
fourth
all
one,
of
Dan?
2000s. I didn't break it up between like 10
That's
and
cool.
all that.
Okay. All right.
for-
so
for the Bengals
thanks
winning
for
next
hanging
week.
with us.
Yeah, you never know.
I worked it.
Thank you for you. I knew you would. And hopefully everybody did catch. There was the Phil Collins reference. We did just get the Bengals reference.
Thank you.
So Scott's just
Seemed a
checking
little
boxes.
forced.
None of that was forced. That was all natural part of the conversation. Susanna Haas needs to call into the show, by the way.
So we do
Silly.
look forward to talking 80s with you, because that's going to be, I think 80s is going to be our genre, and I know many of you who've emailed me are fans of that era, whether you grew up in it or not. So that will be fun to talk about, probably even more in depth. We'll probably run even longer on that one. You might have to listen to that one on speed 2.
That could be a
But,
two-parter.
That could be.
Could be a
Yeah.
two-parter.
So thanks everybody for listening. Scott, Dan, it's always fun hanging out. I'm Bill. We enjoy getting to mess around with you guys and have some fun. Send us emails, send us tweets, and Dan will throw the list up somewhere where you can see it. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Didn't we establish at the beginning of the show that I'm horrible at that?
Well, we did, but that's why I kind of publicly put you out there, so now you got to do
you
it.
think that'll affect me and
Now you're
make me do
committed.
better?
You'll
Okay.
just make a PowerPoint
Yeah.
or a spreadsheet
Yeah, I can
or
do
something. Or
Can you put PowerPoint on Twitter?
Sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
We'll
know.
find out.
Is this still the show, or are we still...
I don't know. Are we still doing this?
All right.
I mean, why not? It can be. So
right.
let's sign off again. That
Is
was
this still the
Dan's...
show? Did we ever really start?
Is this real life?
Wait, did we hit record?
Are
Because
we still
I don't know.
doing this stuff? I mean, is this... What? Okay, I think this is good.
All right, bye.
And we're out.
Are we done now?
That's great. I think now we're done. All right, I'm hitting stop.